Angry people of Reddit, what instantly gets you furious but you know it's not a logical or reasonable response? Having to take my one break 2 hours into a 10-hour shift. My mom telling me to say thank you or be nice before I've even gotten the chance to open my mouth. I'm 23, I know how to be polite. It's completely irrational that I get mad, but I have told her so many times to stop. People walking incredibly slow in front of me when I'm walking. I'm a very fast walker. I am not generally angry or aggressive, but I have to take a breath to settle down every time I'm reading a web page and the whole thing jumps around to make room for ad placements. Then I have to go find where I was until 10 seconds later when it happens again. That shit pisses me off. When someone mumbles something to me, and I ask, "What did you say?" Then they respond angrily with, "Ugh, never mind," and roll their eyes as if I was supposed to translate their garbled, incoherent blah of a statement. My sister does this all the time, and it's the most infuriating thing. People making any sort of unnecessary noise with their mouths, i.e., mouth breathing, smacking food, chewing overly loud. When I'm in line and the person behind me is standing too close. When someone, especially my parents, tells me to do something I'm already doing. I'll be cleaning my room for once and she'll walk by and say, "Yeah, clean your room." I know. What the hell do you think I'm doing right now? Your command for me to do what I am already doing eliminated any and all motivation to continue doing it. Unexpected item in bagging area. You complain when I put the item in. You complain when I take the item back out. There is no unexpected item. I've literally just scanned it. It's right there on the screen. I normally consider myself a fairly calm person, but the day Skynet takes over and the war against the machines begins, I'm going after the self-checkout machines first. They know what they did. When someone in my family has to poop the same time as me, but always gets to the toilet before me. Stubbing my toe. People who listen to music, watch videos on their phones in public without earbuds or headphones, and add to that talking to someone on speaker. It's so rude and uncalled for. I feel that these people have a complete lack of awareness for any kind of decorum or couth. People not holding their phone to their ear and talking. People wearing sunglasses indoors. A loud environment. People who write eyes. A photo of my friends and eyes dinner. Oh, people who use reflexive pronouns incorrectly in an attempt to sound fancy. If you could just send the documents through to myself. No can do, buddy. The fact that my culinary book from when I went to college classifies pizza as a sandwich, or the post someone made on, I think it was Tumblr, that ketchup could be considered a sports drink or soft drink if carbonated. When the shower water suddenly changes temperature. The song Jingle Bell Rock. It awakens a deep-seated rage within me anytime I hear it. I have actually walked out of stores when it starts playing. I value my time. If I tell you that I'll meet you at a certain time, I make sure that I'm there on time. I'll even check Google Maps if I need to for traffic, just so I know I'm not inconveniencing anyone. There are some people who don't share the same ideals as I do. Honestly, it's gotten to the point that if you make plans with me and tell me you'll be there or you'll pick me up at 7:30 for example and are more than 10 minutes late, I get so irrationally angry to the point where it's going to ruin my night out. The way I see it is you don't respect me or my time. People who loudly slurps water, soda, tea, soup, any liquid. People that tries too hard to be noticed. Violas. Could've. Being asked, "Are you okay?" more than once. The first time is valid, but if I say I'm fine, don't ask again. If I wanted to talk about it, I would say something. Just had a fight with my friend because she asked me like 5 times in a row. This question is a Redditor's wet dream. We love getting mad over petty stuff like this. When someone tells me to relax, I've practiced being ambivalent about everything and sometimes I get excited, but it's not even my real level of excitement I show. I have all my mom's bipolar outbursts I can match in joy or anger, so my self-taught mere excitement isn't much. This is me relaxed. You relax. The sound of heels clicking on the floor. People leaving cabinets open after using them. Being asked questions after just waking up. When my boyfriend makes us late for something only when I'm actually ready to go. If we're both making us late, it's not a problem. Being interrupted. When you start telling a story and that one friend tells it for you. I love the sound of heels clicking on the floor. Wearing wet socks. Walking with a wet sock which eventually wets the sole, also the shoe sole, just makes me so angry. Because I said so. People who refer to beer as brewski. My father was a mean drunk who would always say gonna have me another brewski, and that word just pisses me off now. Anyone who spends way too much time with me gets under my skin. I can't see my forehead. People who blast their stupid music from those little speakers or their phones without headphones. Like, yes, of course I want to listen to your favorite moment of Cardi B swearing in the middle of my day. Hearing any noise from the TV in my roommate's room, ever. It's up too loud. People dragging their teeth across their forks. The sound of liquid being poured into a glass. People going slow in the passing lane. Some introspection here. I'm a terrible dinner date. The sound of liquid getting poured into a glass. Does it make you flash back to when someone tried to make your need to pee worse? People clipping their nails on the bus or train. The people do that. Not an angry person, but people who chew gum with their mouths open make me want to bash their brains out with a brick. That noise is beyond my ability to ignore. I don't know if this fits, but if I look at the back of someone's head too long I find them annoying. It doesn't matter who they are. I don't like the backs of heads. While I don't get furious over this, I do get annoyed when people say that the seasons start at the solstices and equinoxes. The beginning of summer should not be in the longest day of the year. That does not make much sense. June 15th is more summer-like than September 15th. But with that definition, June 15th is still spring while September 15th is still summer. I know this is a minor issue, but as a person studying meteorology, I never quite understood the logic behind it. I also get annoyed when people get worried that cell phones, Wi-Fi, etc., cause cancer. The kind of radiation they emit has very low energy. It is way too low to cause cancer. When people whistle. People standing in doorways. People standing behind me. People coughing behind me. People standing too close to me. People sitting in my chair even though I am the only one who works all day every day. I was just in the damn bathroom for like 2 minutes. Jan doesn't work half the week. She's probably not here. People touching me unnecessarily. Unexpected eye contact. People that cut me off in traffic and I want to shoot their tires out so they understand not to do that. When someone asks me to do something I was already getting ready to do, I can't stand that shit. People who have a negative attitude about everything. People who smoke around other people without any consideration as to whether the other people want their lungs damaged by second-hand smoke. Absolutely hate it. Makes me really angry. When people say that I'm picking, in the context of making a choice, it doesn't bother me, but as soon as it's put in the context, for example, of you're picking on your brother, I am instantly pissed off at you. Use something else. Like having an argument, disagreement with your brother. I wasn't being mean to him for no reason. I was just arguing my side. Of course. Our parents always take his side anyways, so it doesn't matter if I have the best reasons in the world, but I can still try. People who can't tell stories. If you're going to tell me a story, don't go on tangents. Or get halfway through the story, then start another story to give me context for the first story. Or even worse, those who stop halfway through a sentence because they get distracted and then forget what they were saying. That I'm not allowed to be angry and must constantly live in a nirvana state according to my parents. Just kidding. If I'm calm they get mad because I'm obviously secretly mad at everyone. This leads me to wanting to throw myself off a window, a term called defenestration, or suicide. People who say ATM machine. ATM stands for automatic teller machine. To say ATM machine is to say automatic teller machine. Same with PIN number, personal identification number. It's just PIN and ATM. People who assault me with questions the moment I wake up. When I'm sitting at a desk and someone behind me hits the back of my chair with their table, even in the slightest way, I don't know why that makes me feel like punching someone in the face, but it just does. Employees at restaurants like Subway asking me repeatedly if I want to add shit to my order, like maybe I would have said that if I wanted it, huh? That's not their fault. Either they are genuinely trying to remind you if you forgot, or they are ordered to do this to make money. Oh, I know, and I totally understand, because I used to work in fast food and I know it's not logical or reasonable. When something just doesn't work the way it's supposed to, like, in a game, a button prompt appears, I hit the button but the game doesn't register the input, even though it's worked thousands of times before, or if I place something at work somewhere I've placed it 100 times, and it just falls for no reason. Things like this infuriate the out of me. When my mom says web addresses and doesn't say dot for the periods but just skips over them. People who grab like 4 paper towels after they wash their hands, give the huge wad of them a quick squeeze and toss them all in the trash. Shitty, wasteful people. People who don't use their turning signal, make me want to kill the firstborn. When people are too ignorant in an argument to realize they just disproved their own point, I know that I should just walk away at that point, but it just makes me want to further argue in hopes that they will eventually hear themselves. Anytime I hear an alarm, I am filled instantly with rage. Whether it's coming from my phone, the TV, a video, whatever, if I hear it, I lose it. People in the office who cut across a corner when walking through the hallway, and say whoops, sorry about that as we come within inches of colliding, and keep doing it, every time. For example, I'm walking down a hallway coming up on a right turn, other person is walking in the opposite direction coming around the corner, but cutting across into my walking lane in order to shave off a precious half second that it would have taken if they had remained in their lane around the turn. People who ask you to repeat what you just said, sometimes it's legit, sometimes they heard it but still ask again. Sometimes I'm just retarded and can't hear you. If I ask twice and for some dumb reason still can't get my tiny brain to hear you, I just laugh and drop it. Losing a sniping battle in video games, particularly in CSGO. My stepdad has this thing at the end of every sentence he ever says. DRDR know what I mean, and it's like, it's there, it's just mad every sentence and it just makes my blood boil. The sounds of loud chewing or breathing. Being interrupted by people trying to finish my sentences. It's partially my own fault. In real life my voice is a thin, hesitant alto, and I tend to talk the same way I write, in long compound sentences, which is just begging to be interrupted by the listener. Still irksome, though. Change your password in 12 days or I will lock you out of your workstation. Change your password. You have attempted to change your password, but it must be 12 digits including 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, 1 special digit and 1 number, and must not be a common word. You must now type the password in again under a time limit or we will start back at step 1. You cannot use that password because we already gave you down for Magnets 2019, and Magnets 2020 is too similar. Your password QWERTYOP 123 is too long. We have accepted your password of QWERTYOP 1. Your account has been locked out due to forgetting that you changed your password and inputting your old password. Please contact your administrator to unlock your workstation. Hulk smash. That and an ally has been slain in the first 5 minutes of a game of League of Legends. Stealing a parking space that I was waiting patiently for. People swoop in and take it, knowing I was waiting for it. I see red immediately. Have almost gotten out of my car to start a fight. Side note, I'm a mom of 2 and overtly nice to everyone, but stealing my parking gets me into a murderous rage. It's a zipper merge. The signs have warned everyone for miles and miles. Damn it, we are not trying to dock with Skylab. Go when it's your turn. Don't go from 60 to 0 miles per hour in a few feet looking panicky, then scream at other drivers. I'm a new driver, and it annoys me probably to an unnecessarily extreme extent when people don't use their signal while changing lanes, turning, or any time you're supposed to use it. When people say good for you. Idiots being idiot. There is nothing you can do. It's pointless, but it still enrages me. People who can't tell stories. If you're going to tell me a story, don't go on tangents. Or get halfway through the story, then start another story to give me context for the first story. Or even worse, those who stop halfway through a sentence because they get distracted and then forget what they were saying. I know, like, just the other day, I think it was Wednesday, or maybe it was Tuesday. Nah, it was Wednesday, because I got my hair cut that day and I always get my hair cut on Wednesdays. Anyway, so there was this guy, who reminds me of Ray Romano, so I call him Ray even though his name is Larry, like Larry David, you know, from Curb Your Enthusiasm. So, he was trying to tell me a story and I was in a rush because I had a hair appointment because it was Wednesday. He was going on and on, not getting to the point, which was annoying because I was in a rush. Wait, actually I think it was a bank appointment I was in a rush for, which would make it Tuesday. People saying please when they ask you to do something, but you aren't given a choice, and must do it. People that start whistling as soon as they hear you whistling, but the whistle a whole different tune that completely ruins your experience. Too many things.